Ladies and gentlemen, we are live tonight for another edition of NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005. It is custom scheduled truck series racing once again here tonight at the Lowe's Motor Speedway, now known as, of course, Charlotte Motor Speedway for the Infineon 200. 200 miles, 136 laps on tap for tonight's race. This is going to be a race for the championship still between Carl Edwards and Bobby Hamilton Sr. And in fact, coming into tonight's race, both of those two drivers will be starting on the front row. Carl Edwards qualified on the pole. He's trying to cut into that points deficit. He comes in 136 points behind Bobby Hamilton. And Hamilton, who qualified second, is going to try his best to make sure Edwards does not get that many laps led if he can help it, because the battle for bonus points will be at a very much premium. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we're about to get into tonight's race. And without further ado, let's get this one underway and get this Wednesday night of racing kick started. Apparently stages will be coming sometime next week in NASCAR 21 Ignition. I think it was stated January, correct? The January patch? Or was it the February patch? I think it was the January patch. Ashley G, welcome to the stream as well. Sorry, I had to get the chat up on the on my laptop real quick. Alright, there we go. Now we'll get the race started. Again, Carl Edwards on the pole. This first lap is going to be the race within the race here. Green flag is in the air. Pretty good jump for Bobby Hamilton off the start. But he was not able to clear the 99 of Edwards, and once he hit second gear, he really got shuffled back. 3 wide, there's a crash on the backstretch already. That did not take long at all. 3 wide off the exit of turn 2, and we already see a caution on lap 1. Travis Kvapil, Bobby Hamilton involved. Hamilton just got squeezed off the exit of the corner with really nowhere else to go. He chopped down just a bit. He struggled to try and hold that line as they were getting up to speed, and what a crazy start to tonight's race. And Hamilton's going to have to come down into the pits and repair damage. Edwards will get 5 bonus points for leading the opening lap of the race. And Edwards down to repair damage. He's got 4 seconds worth. Michael Turner, welcome to the chat as well. This was an ugly start tonight for Bobby Hamilton. Was not expecting an opening lap crash to start tonight's race at Charlotte. And that was definitely a sloppy way to get things underway tonight. Green flag back in the air at lap number 5 as Carl Edwards leads the field to the green. And Hamilton is all the way at the rear, so that good qualifying effort, qualifying on the outside of the front row, it's gone in a hurry. And he does not have the gearing right for these restarts. It seems like he gets a good initial jump, but then once they get into turn 1, he really slows up quite a bit as he's struggling to keep up with the back of the pack all of a sudden. This is the race Edwards needs now. He's going to try to go for that 3rd win of the season, and Bobby Hamilton being at the back, at least in the early going all of a sudden. Edwards can really jump back into that points lead. Craig Franklin, welcome to the stream. Favorite truck driver now? I don't really have a favorite in the Xfinity or the Truck Series. I don't have one that I specifically root for. Thor Sports out of Sandusky, so I guess, you know, when one of those guys goes to victory lane, it's all right, but I don't really... Yeah, I don't know. I don't look at the lower series, because the lower series, especially more so nowadays, I guess it's always been like this, but especially nowadays, because it doesn't seem like there's as many veterans that stick around to run just the truck or just the Xfinity series on a regular basis anymore. There are a few, but like I said, not as many as there used to be. Somebody got into the outside wall and everybody stacked up at turns 1 and 2. I was like Todd Bodine, though, when I was younger. And I would watch the Truck Series races, and he was a full-time driver in the Truck Series at the time in the number 30. I believe it was Germain Motorsports, if I'm not mistaken. Or Germain Racing. Difficult to pass right now for Bobby Hamilton in traffic. That was a bad block on Andy Lyman, and Lyman's in the wall now as Bobby Hamilton is struggling early on. At least according to the track map on the upper right-hand corner of the screen, it does seem as if Carl Edwards is slowly pulling away from the field. Troy Perry has definitely not been giving up any of the bottom. There's no practice coming into tonight's race for Bobby Hamilton, just a qualifying session. They seem to nail the setup. So the truck feels fine. It feels free enough that he's able to pretty much run whatever line he wants. Obviously, most of these drivers are going to be rolling right around the bottom tonight. Billy Kramer, welcome into the chat. Hamilton is struggling off turn 2, and I think some of it might be the damage now because the truck was pretty good in qualifying. I know it was only 2 laps, and obviously there was no traffic around him, so that definitely helps. Not a race he needs late in the season. Edwards still within 1 race worth of points from him. Mathematically, he can take the points lead at the end of the night. Hamilton has not DNF'd yet this season, only 2 finishes outside the top 10. Just brushed the wall off turn 4. Got Chris Sweeney underneath him. Sweeney not quite clear yet. Up the exit of turn 2. All 36 trucks still on the racetrack right now as well. Sweeney's clear off turn 4. Hamilton slides a bit loose off the exit of the corner. A little bit of a checkup, it looks like, on the front stretch. Hamilton gets to the outside of Sweeney into turn 1. He's trying to side draft him. Hamilton's just going to get out of the gas. Oh, and he tried to let Adam Bell go, and he's in the wall again. Another crash for Bobby Hamilton. And it was very similar to that lap 1 accident where he clipped the truck in the right rear off the exit of turn 2. Inside Uranus, welcome to the stream. DB Forever 85, welcome as well. Second caution already in the early going of tonight's race. Both Bobby Hamilton had pretty much started and had been involved in. So again, no damage, or sorry, damage will be repaired. 4.5 seconds worth of damage this time around. And that's only going to hurt the racetrack more and more. Problematic for the points leader. Definitely having some early struggles. Hamilton's not really getting crowded off the exit of turn 2. He's coming down the racetrack just a little bit because the truck is on the loose side all of a sudden with the damage. That he keeps clipping the trucks that are just barely underneath him that aren't quite clear, and that's why he's turning them into the outside wall like that off the exit of turn 2, closer to the first, or at least on the first half of the back straightaway. He hasn't had that issue off of turn 4 yet. Another bad restart as Hamilton's back to last. Excited for Saturday? Yeah, go Pack, go. Anxiously awaiting it. That bot down in the chat can't wait either. The bot was so anxious, they just basically spammed like 3 letters together and tried to make a word out of it, it looked like. Hamilton just got in the wall, middle of the front stretch. He got loose that time, trying to make a move. If we can get a natural yellow, Bobby Hamilton's going to go back into the pits and try to tighten the racetrack up a little bit more again. Because he's been involved in the accident, it would be an unfair advantage, in my opinion, to make the adjustment changes or take tires. Bang Bang Niner again. Are you a Niners fan too? It's like three people just within the last couple nights alone that are saying go Niners or good luck against my Niners this weekend. Yeah, see, Cerebral Assassin's a Niners fan. I'm outnumbered. Bobby Hamilton's struggling right now. I just cannot believe what has happened. He obviously had a fast race truck qualifying second, but the damage has slowed him up big time. And now he's been involved in 2 early accidents. Obviously, he's in the dirty air and traffic, only making it worse. We're 26 laps in. He is in last place still. And with the Truck Series races being shorter, there's more of a sense of urgency, I'd have to assume, for the 4 team to try and make their way through the field. By going to the game now, I've never been to a Lambeau Field yet. One of these years. I live like 8 hours away from Green Bay, so it's kind of hard to make the trip up there, especially in the wintertime. There's a likelihood of driving in inclement weather when you get to that area, or really once I get to about Chicago. But the last 4 hours of that drive can be terrible. Well, I mean, just living in the Midwest in general, I mean, it gets snow like the whole way. So it's kind of hard to plan it out. I would love to. I wanted to go up to Detroit for that Packers and Lions game a couple weeks ago, but I couldn't take my car because my car was having some issues. Couple trucks hitting the pit lane already, and this is a very interesting time to be seeing pit stops at lap 29. At least one truck in the pits. I'm not sure if that was a scheduled stop or not for whoever just pit. There's no way that window can be open to the end of the race. And you wonder if it'll be a one or a two stopper. Obviously, with the two cautions, a lot of these drivers have been able to save a little bit of fuel. We'll see how many more trucks are going to pit within the next couple laps. And actually, nobody comes into the pits that time around off turn 4. Edwards again pulling away from the pack. He's led all 30 laps so far in the race tonight from the pole. Only adding to the sense of urgency Bobby Hamilton's going to need to try and get through here. Try not to waste any time at all. A little bit of contact with Robbie Young. That one driver who pit about 2 laps ago has not made his way out of the pit lane yet, so that tells me whoever it was had just blown an engine and is likely done for the night. So at least it was a free spot for Bobby Hamilton to be able to gain with ease. Why do I like the Packers over the Lions? Yeah, the Lions are the only non-Detroit team that that isn't one of my favorite teams as far as the 4 major sports in the U.S. My aunt and uncle are Packers fans, and at least when I was a little kid, I must have rooted for the Packers or something because my dad got me a Brett Favre jersey, and it's been history ever since. Charles Woodson grew up like 10, 15 minutes away from me. He was playing for the Packers most of my childhood. My early childhood, he would have been with the Raiders, but I wasn't really old enough to remember that. Then he went back to the Raiders the last couple of years of his career. So I think all of that just kind of, falls into place. Oh, check up in the middle of the front stretch. Contact was made as well as Bobby Hamilton works his way through. More contact as another truck gets back into the outside wall. A bit of a jam session, and now Hamilton's stuck on the outside off the exit of turn 2 with Aaron McGee to his inside. He's got to be careful because this is where we've seen 2 cautions where Hamilton's been involved in because he can't really hold the outside that well off the exit of turn 2. He'll get back down to the bottom in the middle of 3 and 4, and it should fare out a little bit better for him. And he's got a good run on the front stretch, nowhere to go with it with side-by-side traffic right in front of him. Chops to the inside, 3 wide. Aaron McGee is there, off the exit of the corner. McGee gets turned into the outside wall. Down the racetrack he goes as he saves it, smoke flying as the pack gets bunched together again, but no caution. Somebody got stacked up big time behind that and likely has significant damage because somebody's very slow in the middle of turns 3 and 4, but still no caution. That could have been a caution Bobby Hamilton needed as he was just able to squeeze by to the inside. And you can see the smoke down the back straightaway in the aftermath of it as that one race truck tries to get into the pit lane off of turn 4. Hamilton now inside the top 20. He's up to 17th, but he is about just less than 6 seconds off the race lead from Carl Edwards still as Edwards continues to pull away from the field and dominate this race. Wesley Schmidt with a bad block on Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton survives into turn 1. Hamilton has been in a whole bunch of carnage, really, in this race so far. He's got to be careful so he can make it to the end. This would be a bad time to have his first DNF of the season. Edwards is doing his part tonight. Now we just need some help. So far, he has been getting it through the first 39 laps already. All of a sudden, we only got 96 laps to go. This is only a 200-mile event with these 136 laps. Not sure if it's a one or a two-stop race. Only went to one Rams game and they were in St. Louis. Yeah, I've only been to two Packers games. Both were in Detroit, 2019 and 2010. I also been at Heinz Field once for a Raiders and Steelers game back in 2016, I believe. 2015, 2014, somewhere around there. I think it was 2015. Hamilton's still losing time to Edwards, and I'm sure the traffic is not helping him as well as the damage on that fourth truck. Only put more pressure to make clean passes so he doesn't damage the truck anymore as well. Sends it into turn one to the inside, trying to hook that white lane, and he did a pretty good job of doing so, and it'll clear Grigsby off the exit of turn two. Hamilton inside the top 15 for the first time since the exit of turn two before he was involved in that lap one accident. Contact now with Barry Wilder. Last mile and a half we had was at Texas. Hamilton finished 18th. Time for his worst finish of the season. That race was 250 miles. Another stack up off the exit of turn four. Chad Chafin got into the outside wall. They're three wide to the inside as he pulls a block on Bill Lester. And Hamilton's driven up to ninth place with the mistake from his teammate. So drives it pretty deep. Halfway on fuel at lap 45. Interesting. Hamilton trying to get back Craftsman into a mistake so he can get another quick spot here. Looking to intimidate the sixth truck of Craftsman. Into turns one and two. It's not really happening. Bob Spear, Ryan Carter, and Craftsman all for position. That's cool you got to see Kurt Warner play. Oh, contact! Into the wall hard! Oh, the 6 is up on his lid! No caution, now the caution waves. Terrible crash for Matt Craftsman. Turn 2. The 152 got tagged by the 64 of Ryan Carter, and then there was a checkup where the 6 got launched into the back. Oh, man, a terrible hit. Down the racetrack with Wesley Schmidt, the 117, where he got hit right on the roof of his race car. Caution is out again. Here at Charlotte, more damage, it looks like, to the Ford truck of Bobby Hamilton, so he will pit again as he just cannot get out of harm's way. And Edwards continues to lead during the yellow. I don't know how the 6 ended up on his lid other than just the G-forces of that hit into the outside wall plus the awkward angle of getting sandwiched without the safer barrier there. And the truck just kind of climbed up onto the wall and onto his side. Big hit to the roof of the race truck. Again from Wesley Schmidt down underneath as well. Another bad restart for Bobby Hamilton. Right as he was making his way back inside the top 10, another just unfortunate circumstance. That one was not his fault. The other two, you could have put the blame potentially on Bobby Hamilton for getting loose on the outside, but that one, again, Ryan Carter made contact with the left rear of Bob Spear's race truck. Spear went up into the outside wall. Crafton saw that. He checked up. Hamilton was already looking to make the pass on Crafton, so when Crafton checked up on entry into one, Hamilton launched Crafton into the wall along with Bob Spear, but he hit the wall and Spear at an awkward point where it shifted the 6 truck up on the side. Up and over went Matt Crafton. That's the second flip we've seen in the last 3 truck races this season. Remember, we had that flip with Chad Chapin at Levi Strauss Signature Speedway a couple races ago as well. 3 cautions already in the first half of tonight's race. Our last race at the Old Spice Speedway, we had 5. The end of the season almost seeming like the beginning of the season, where we're seeing a lot of cautions in these races, and a lot of them seemingly later in the race. So tonight, they're all towards the beginning. I guess Old Spice Speedway, they were all in the middle of the race. Except for one, another stack up into turn 1. And again, Hamilton makes contact with the truck ahead of him. That's how it was Richards in the 106. Cars One Boy, welcome to the stream. Niners not winning the Super Bowl. The Chiefs are. And the Chiefs are a good pick. There's a lot of good teams in the playoffs, so I don't think the Niners are overrated. Defense wins championships, and the reason they're in the playoffs is for their defense, because their defense is that good. They basically blanked the Cowboys for 3 quarters. The only reason the fourth quarter the Cowboys even had a chance because Niners turned the ball over a couple times. So it gave them an opportunity with decent field position. Get a couple scores. They dominated that game, but they almost blew it at the end. They're a good team, though. And they just flat out outplayed Dallas last week. And they beat the Rams the week before, and the Rams are one of the best teams in the league. Sometimes you got to win ugly. And in their case, they've beaten 2 Super Bowl contending teams. Both games went down to the wire. Jesus Manuel Ortiz Del Valle, welcome to the stream. Hamilton trying to make up time. Still nobody has made a pit stop yet during any of the 3 cautions in this race as far as for fuel and tires go. Hamilton right back to being 5 seconds off the lead, but a lot of trucks still in between him and Edwards. And Edwards is already... he's got to be super close to leading the most laps, considering the fact that he has still led every lap in tonight's race. And nobody's been close to him, even on these restarts. He's been nailing the restarts. He's had great long-run speed. Things are going well for Carl Edwards tonight, and he's having the help with the issues Bobby Hamilton has had as well. "32 days to the 500. Yeah, I didn't get the graphic up today. In time, another checkup off the exit in turn 4. 3 wide on the front stretch, truck in the wall. That was Troy Perry. He's still in the outside wall. Hamilton went down to the grass to make some passes on the front stretch that time, and he's able to jump to 20th. That worked out for Hamilton. He was able to miss that stack up and gain a bunch of positions. They were still stacking up behind him because there's a giant gap to the trucks way further back now. Hamilton to the inside of Andy Lyman as the tires start to slip away from the Ford truck. XFL's coming back in 2023. Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting. Yeah, it was a lot more successful than the first time around, but the pandemic just happened at the exact wrong time, middle of their reopening season. It seemed like a lot of fans were enjoying it, though. Football fans that were watching it. Hamilton having a tough time trying to pass Aaron McGee in the 163 truck all of a sudden. To the inside off the exit of turn 4. Hamilton will clear McGee in turn 1. For 18, Shane Kirkland on the outside lost a lot of ground in turns 1 and 2. Hamilton now trying to run him down for position. I don't think the cautions are done with the way they have been flying tonight, as well as in the last race at Old Spice Speedway, just kind of picking up from where we left off with the carnage side of things. Hamilton dominated Old Spice Speedway, but now is the driver trying to chase him in the points. Carl Edwards, who is dominating. Remember, Edwards finished 17th at Old Spice Speedway. Hamilton had the max points day, not only winning but leading the most laps. Edwards didn't lead a single lap, so no bonus points for Edwards in the last race, and that's how Hamilton grew what was a very narrow points lead to a pretty comfortable size lead, 136 points now. Carl Edwards in a very, very similar circumstance tonight, where he has led the most laps so far. Hamilton has not led a lap yet, and Hamilton's pretty much been outside the top 10 for all but about a dozen laps tonight. He's up to 11th now, but he had a lot of trucks in front of him pit there. Edwards will still stay on the racetrack. Hamilton's likely going to try to stay out as long as he possibly can so he can try to get 5 bonus points, because he's going to need all the points he can get here tonight. It's not looking good for him. A lot of trucks pit. That last time by. We're almost halfway home. Edwards still on the track, and he still led every lap, so he's going to clinch the most laps led. Once we get to halfway, Scott Bush trying to squeeze Bobby Hamilton. Hamilton was not going to lift any extra, so a little bit of a bump and run on a mile and a half, so to speak. Luckily, Bush held on to it, and he didn't end up in the wall like Craftsman did earlier. Point of contact was almost exactly the same, too. Hamilton's definitely going to have to make some major adjustments during that first stop to try and get the truck handling as good as it can with the damage, because he just definitely has not had a race-winning truck. And he might have very well had a competing truck, at least with Edwards, or a top 5 truck on speed, but the opening lap crash gave him damage instantly, and he's had damage ever since, and he's only had more of it really ever since being involved in all 3 cautions tonight. One, there was a wreck in front of him, he had nowhere to go, and then the other 2, he was just in the middle of it. Yeah, I wonder if they're going to keep all the same teams, or I would assume the same cities will probably have the same teams. I wonder if they might expand the league. Hamilton to the inside of Baker on the front stretch. 113 truck underneath Bob Spear, who's got some damage from that last accident. Big run for Hamilton in the middle of 1 and 2 as he follows the 113 truck to get around Spear. Now he looks to the inside of the 113, who tries to throw a block on him. Hamilton drives it deep into 3, slides up the racetrack. Luckily, he had the 152 cleared. And Bob Spear on the outside. Hamilton's in the wall off turn 4. Contact between Spear and Scott Bush off the exit of turn 4. Hamilton got it in the wall, but then so did Spear, but Spear bounced into the 56. And now we got another slow truck on the backstretch, it looks like, trying to make his way into the pit lane as Edwards races by. There he is, slow truck on the inside of Chad Chafin as Hamilton was not that far to the outside of him. So that could be a little frustrating perhaps for Bobby Hamilton, all the issues he's already had tonight, and now he saw his teammate just blow an engine. What does that mean for Bobby Hamilton? Will his engine be able to make it to the end? He's obviously endured a lot already of extra stress on the engine with the accidents. A night of survival and the championship hopes for Bobby Hamilton. Inside Uranus, thanks for that $2 super chat. The 49ers win. I'll buy you a beer at Auto Club. I actually don't drink alcohol, so you don't have to buy me any sort of... You can buy me a water. Probably costs about the same anyway nowadays. Especially out in California, I would only imagine the prices are probably going to be more expensive for anything I go to buy that weekend. Food or round of golf. Brandon Witt has been leading the last couple laps as Edwards pit at lap 71. We are now at lap 73. Hamilton is up to third. He is still on the track because he wants to try to get 5 bonus points for leading a lap, so he's just got to wait on the top 2 to pit ahead of him. With all the cautions we've had so far tonight, and all the contact we have seen so far tonight, for a mile and a half, it's been quite a bit. Is it possible that we could get a caution trapping a lot of trucks a lap down in the middle of green flag stops here, that Bobby Hamilton can actually have luck on his side tonight, perhaps give him a better finish, and trap the guy who has led over half the race already? Literally led every lap up until the last 3 just because of the middle of green flag stops. The only reason Edwards has not led every lap in this one. Brandon Witt going to stay out. Second place will pit. I believe that was Ryan Carter that hit the pit lane that time. Hamilton brushed the wall off turn 4 again. Oh boy. Hamilton sliding way up the racetrack in 3 and 4. Luckily he kept it off the wall that time. Brandon Witt's still out on the racetrack. I mean, Edwards is pretty much locked in the most laps led. If he hasn't already actually locked it in. We got smoke in turns 3 and 4. Like there might have been a potential accident that last lap. Hamilton throwing a block on Edwards. Trying to hold him behind him right now. And Edwards almost gets into the wall off turn 4. He might have. He slows up big time. Getting tight in the dirty air behind the Ford truck. Left front starting to wear out on Hamilton's race truck now as well. Something's happened to Edwards. I think I see him back there. He lost a couple seconds to the back bumper of the Ford truck. When will Brandon Witt pit, by the way? 1/8 of a tank of fuel left for Bobby Hamilton, and now Witt will pit. So this will give the race lead to Bobby Hamilton. 5 bonus points for Bobby Hamilton leading his first lap of the night. That was huge, to say the least. Now can he get a caution? The way we've been seeing some smoke here recently, Edwards just made a pretty big mistake hitting the wall off turn 4 a couple laps ago. I'm not going to count it out. Oh, geez. Hamilton in the wall into turn 1. Another mistake. If the 49ers win, I will do that. You got a deal inside Uranus. Thanks for the other $2 super chat, by the way, for stating that. If the 49ers win, I will do that. It's a fair trade-off. Packers win, I get a water. If that's the bet we're making. I mean, I might get something other than a water only because I bring my own water anyway. I'll probably have a cooler full of water. I don't drink pop though either. It might just be another water. You never have enough water. Edwards starting to run Bobby Hamilton down again as Hamilton tries to keep the one-lap lead on the field and is desperately hoping for a caution. He's gone a long ways on fuel, but with 4 cautions, he was able to save enough fuel to get to, or sorry, 3 cautions, excuse me, to save enough fuel to get to this point at lap 82. We're still out on the racetrack. He can go at least a few more laps. He is really just pushing it, trying to desperately hope. Desperately hope for a caution flag. Will we get the 4th yellow of the race? And will it be soon for Bobby Hamilton? He's obviously been giving up a ton of time trying to stay out as long as he can as well. He was already running outside the top 15 when the green flag pit stop started to begin with. I don't think this is a bad strategy call for Bobby Hamilton, all things considered. I think it's worth the risk. You're getting 5 bonus points. Probably could have pitted right after he led a lap to try and save as much time as he possibly can. But he's going for broke here. He's going to try to keep Carl Edwards behind him as much as he possibly can as well. Hamilton's going to stay out one more lap. He'll stay out this time by. He'll pit at lap 85. As Edwards may drive underneath him here. Nope, Hamilton hanging on for now. Edwards couldn't quite get underneath him off of turn 4. Hamilton throws the block now into turn 1 down on the bottom of the racetrack, trying to back the corner up a little bit. Hamilton's got to be able to get to the bottom into turn 3 in front of Edwards, otherwise they'll have to let him go so he can make it into the pits. Looks like we have 3 drivers who have now blown an engine since the most recent restart alone. And Hamilton will pit this time off turn 4. Got to make sure he doesn't speed. 70 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit. Great job getting into the pits. Right side tires only for Bobby Hamilton. Major adjustments here. Going to put around a wedge in. Going to drop the air pressure 2 pounds on the right, 1 pound on the right side. Risky call, taking right sides only for Bobby Hamilton. He's asking a lot out of those left side tires, which are still the same tires since the start of the race, plus the fact that there have been a couple accidents he's been involved in tonight. He made sure he didn't slide the tires under the pits, but he's desperately going to just try to stay and hold on to the lead as he works his way back onto the racetrack. There goes Edwards. It wasn't worth the risk. It was not worth the risk for Bobby Hamilton. He's going to cycle out in 3rd place. He was desperately hoping that it was going to be a quick enough stop that he was going to be able to stay in front of Carl Edwards, but it just wasn't meant to be. And he's going to come out a few seconds behind him. And as he gets up to speed, Ryan Carter gets to the inside of Bobby Hamilton now as well. Hamilton on the outside. He's going to have to let Carter go. Into turns 1 and 2. Chopping down to block Jason Powell in the 191 behind him. Carter throwing a simultaneous block on Bobby Hamilton. So Hamilton trying to hang on with only fresher right side tires. And we still have 50 laps to go. Now 49 to go at the line this time. Will those left side tires make it this entire race? Because if we don't get a caution, that's what Hamilton's hoping for. Hamilton might be the points leader, but it has been an underdog, fight from behind kind of performance tonight, scratching and clawing for every point, every position he can get. Desperately trying to get around Carter, he just can't do it. Carter with a block down the back straightaway. Hamilton just trying to make the move into turn 3 on the outside. Carter goes up the racetrack. Off the exit of turn 4, Carter keeps it off the wall. So did Hamilton. Hamilton entered into turn 1 about as well as he could have on 2 old tires. Drives to the inside of Ryan Carter. He's going to have the positioning into 3. Carter trying to pinch him. Oh, contact up the track. They both go. Hamilton's clear off of turn 4 for 3rd place at lap 91 at the line. I don't know if he's going to be able to drive away, though. .8-second lead for Edwards over Hamilton. It was about 3.2 seconds when Hamilton first came out of the pit lane. Obviously, that battle with Ryan Carter stalled out the Ford truck a little bit, but obviously having the 2 older left side tires not helping either. The only hope now, if it does stay green to the end of the race, obviously you got to hope that the left sides are going to make it if you're Bobby Hamilton, but also if they do make it, what's the lap traffic going to be like? Because there will be lap traffic before the finish. We haven't seen it yet today because of how the cautions have been pretty much evenly spaced apart with one another. It's the longest green flag run at just over 40 laps so far. Oh, Carter's in the wall off turn 4. That's going to ease the pressure from behind from Bobby Hamilton, and he can run his own race now. So Carter makes a mistake off turn 4. He'll hang on to 4th place. Got a couple trucks right behind him now all of a sudden. Edwards hit the wall off turn 4 on his own earlier. Obviously, he's got clean air, so maybe a little bit harder to do that now. But I wouldn't rule it out completely. Gonna alternate through the different camera angles for the first time into the night's race at the Lowe's Motor Speedway. And comment down below, do you think these left side tires will make it to the end of the race, all 136 laps tonight? That is a lot of laps on a pretty bumpy mile and a half, to say the least. Don't forget, this surface at Charlotte is pretty old back in 2004 compared to now, what it would be, say, in 2021, retrospect-wise. Hamilton's not had a great handling truck as it is tonight. Tried to tighten it up a little bit, knowing that taking right sides only was probably going to loosen the truck up even more. The weird thing is with the air pressure, though, is the air pressure was not adjusted all the way around because he kept the left sides on. The air pressure was only adjusted in the right side tires. Billy says the left sides will not make it. We got a truck blowing an engine down the back straightaway. Looks like it's Benny Allen in the 110. He'll try to make it into the pit lane. We'll see if we stay green. That could be the caution that Bobby Hamilton needs to get himself 4 fresh Goodyears. He's obviously got 3.5 sets of tires left at the end of the race if we did get a yellow. Brandon Witt is in second place as well. He is in this points battle right now in third. He closed in a great deal on Edwards after his second place finish for Witt at Old Spice Speedway. Now to lap 100 in tonight's race, that last time by. Witt has 1 DNF this year, but Edwards' bad finish. Great rally, though, by Bobby Hamilton tonight. So otherwise, both the 38 and the 99 would catch up a great deal in points. The way things were running most of the night. Now, the left front tire, or I should say the left side tires in general, still may not make it to the end. There's probably a better chance that they won't make it versus then that they will make it. Hamilton's still pushing hard, though. He ran a 29.999 that last lap. His fastest lap of the race is a 29.933. So he's really not that far off his fastest lap of the race. A couple hundredths of a second, really. A little over 1/10 of a second that last time by. Dropped down a little bit. But still has a decent amount of clean air in front of him. He probably won't catch another lap car, or his first lap truck, I should say, probably for at least a dozen more laps. Hamilton really hoping for a bunch of lap traffic. The off balance on the truck, it almost feels too tight now. Before it was too loose. Now it feels a little too tight. More so in the center of the corners. You get to the middle of the corner, it just feels like it wants to push all the way up the racetrack. Really doing all I can in the middle of the corner to try and back it up so I can keep it on the bottom. So once it starts to slip up the racetrack, I don't think there's going to be any catching it. Going to have to lift quite a bit all the way out of the gas and absolutely kill your momentum and lose even more time to the top two. Hamilton's running so low on the front stretch, he's really trying to cut as much time out as he possibly can. Even trying to have a low exit to turn 2, which is tough with the tighter race truck. But he's still trying. Edwards looking for his 3rd win of the season. Brandon Witt looking for his 4th win of the year. Bobby Hamilton looking for his 7th win of the season. Or sorry, his 9th. I subtracted 1 for some reason. I meant to have 1. His 9th win of the year. Potentially, of course. But these are the 3 most winningest drivers. They're the top 3 in points. The championship competitors, with just a little over a handful of races to go, are the ones duking it out for the win tonight at Charlotte. Edwards has led a lot of laps, and these are the only 3 trucks to even lead laps in tonight's race. Again, Bobby Hamilton and Brandon Witt only led a few laps apiece. and it's because of the green flag pit stops. It's the only reason they've been able to lead laps tonight. Carl Edwards has literally led every lap other than that, because he had pit 3 laps before Witt and about 10 laps before Hamilton. And that's one thing, too. Hamilton's right side tires are about 10 laps fresher than Edwards, which makes a difference on a very worn out surface. The problem is, though, is that his left side tires are the same left side tires he had since the start of the race. So, thinking that the rest of the field has probably got about 70 lap fresher left side tires, even though Hamilton's got about 10 lap fresher right side tires. And you almost wonder if Hamilton pits and gives up a bunch of track position, considering there are a lot of trucks on the lead lap still to take fresh tires, because he is not handled too well in traffic tonight. We've had a lot of commotion on the restarts. News to say he wouldn't get caught up in an accident. I think he's already made enough of a gamble with this bet. I think he's got to keep the track position and stay out of the pits if we get a caution. I don't know if everybody else is going to pit or not. I mean, if they pit, we might as well pit, because then we're really going to be out of luck. We'll at least be able to tell if the top 2 pit before we decide to make our decision. I think we have to do what the leaders do. And just hope the rest of the field behind makes the same decision. Yeah, baseball games are pretty easy to get to compared to the other sports. There's so many games of the year, so the tickets are typically cheaper, especially if you go during the week. I mean, you got to figure they have 82 home games in a year versus in the NFL, your home city's only going to have 8 home games a year, so the tickets are going to be a lot more expensive because there's only 8 opportunities to see them, barring them making the playoffs, of course, and having a home game in the playoffs. But 8 times versus 82. There's not as much high demand. Yeah, because I've been to a ton of Tigers games. I've probably been to close to 20 Detroit Tigers games. I mean, 12 of them alone, or 11 of them, 11 or 12. Might have been 11 games I think I went to in 2019. It's because they were so cheap. It's how bad they were. That was a season they only won 46 games. Just to put into my perspective of it, I went to see the Tigers play 11 times that year. They only won 2 games. One was against the Orioles, who had the second worst record in the league. And then the other one was surprisingly against the Twins in a shootout. It was like 14-13. It was definitely the highest scoring baseball game I've ever seen. I don't even know how we won. I don't even know how we scored that many runs, considering how bad the offense has been, especially that year. That was their biggest issue. Pitching wasn't that bad. It was the fact that nobody on the team could hit. A lot of the games we were losing were low scoring. Carl Edwards has been dealing with a little bit of lap traffic. The lead has dropped down a couple tenths of a second. We'll see how much Brandon Witt's going to struggle potentially in the lap traffic, and see if Hamilton may have a shot at second. Looks like they're side by side in turns 1 and 2 rather. The lap trucks, that is. Edwards has already cleared a couple of them. Hamilton's starting to push up the track a bit in 3 and 4. He saw him go quite a bit wide that time. 20 laps to go at the line. Had a lot of late yellows this year, though most of them were at the very beginning of the season, when we had a bunch of late cautions. Although the last caution we had at the Old Spice Speedway and restart ended up coming up with less than 20 laps to go last night. Two nights ago. Forgot we streamed NASCAR 21 Ignition last night. Doubleheader on the channel tomorrow night. NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 live stream on this very Truck Series season. Coverage begins at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. After that, we'll have a NASCAR 21 Ignition Career Mode premiere for the round of 12 race 1 at Las Vegas. That'll be at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So again, doubleheader tomorrow night. Once again on the channel, pumping out the doubleheaders because once the NASCAR season kicks off, with as many live commentary live streams as we're going to do, that takes up one of my 3 days off I have during the week. One of my other days off are typically my editing days, and then the other one's my recording days. So it's going to be pretty hard to get doubleheader live streams in going forward, but I've been doing them on my days off here recently, knowing that I haven't done them in a while, and the off season was going to be the best opportunity for it because I'm not golfing and there's no racing going on, so it gives me that extra day to record/edit. So trying to pump out as much content as I have been recently, so that's why you've seen a few doubleheaders over the last couple weeks. Got a couple more weeks to try and keep those coming, though. Dark Crypto, welcome to the stream. Hamilton about to catch a couple lap trucks now. Edwards is really pulling away from Hamilton. Hamilton hasn't even caught lap traffic yet. He's 4.2 off the lead. It was down to 3.5 at one point. The old tires are really kicking in for Bobby Hamilton. I'm surprised that neither of his left side tires have gotten into the red yet. It makes it more likely that they're going to be able to at least make it to the end of the race. And while, yes, he could have had fresher tires trying to run down the leaders, I don't think he had the speed or the handling to be able to catch the leaders anyway in his race truck. And this might have been the best decision to get the best finish possible if it stays green. And if there's a caution, he has a shot at least to win the race. Lap traffic side by side right in front of Bobby Hamilton now. Hamilton gets around Anderson. Now he's underneath Kenny Hall. A lot more lap traffic for Edwards. 14 laps to go at the line that time. 3 cautions in the race today. Our last restart was at lap 54, so it's been a while since the last yellow. 8 total cautions in the last 2 races combined now for the Truck Series season. Throwing the Busch race in there too. The last 3 NASCAR 05 live streams we've had. Over those 3 races combined, we will have seen 13 cautions. And that's no Cup races either. Cup races, I can kind of see that. That'd still be quite a bit for this game. Considering that those were all 300-mile races and shorter. Actually, 2 of them were 200 miles between tonight and the Old Spice Speedway truck race. I think Hamilton's far enough ahead of the 4th and 5th place race trucks that you shouldn't have to worry about losing any more positions, even in lap traffic to the end of the race. You see on the track map, there's a pretty big gap. Once he got around Ryan Carter, he actually started to pull away from him. Now, granted, obviously, Carter hit the wall. Now, he's probably got a little bit of damage, so that slowed him down. Then he ended up having a battle with the trucks behind him for position. It really took the pressure off Hamilton and allowed him to pull away well before the lap traffic. Hamilton about 0.2 of a second quicker than Edwards that last lap. Edwards dealing with more lap traffic. Cousin Carl trying to get a max points day for the 2nd time this season. Halfway on fuel at the line, 10 laps to go. Hamilton obviously plenty good on fuel, as is the rest of the field. Tires should be able to make it to the end for Bobby Hamilton. Even with the few accidents he was involved in tonight, on top of the fact not replacing those left side tires during the only pit stop of the race under green at about lap 85, and Bobby Hamilton is going to make all 200 miles in 136 laps on those left side tires on an old Lowe's Motor Speedway surface. Still praying for a caution. There is an attempt at a green-white checker finish if it is a late yellow. No cautions come out on the final lap in a NASCAR EA Sports video game. 4.7 back. He's definitely not going to catch Edwards. I'm kind of coming to terms that he's not going to catch Brandon Wood either. Although Wood's got a ton of lap traffic in front of him right now, and you can see that Edwards is closing in on that blue and black truck up ahead, but he's not closing in quick enough. It is also telling me that means Wood is losing Carl Edwards more and more as these laps wind closer to the checkered flag. Hamilton way up the racetrack at turns 3 and 4. Had to get on the brakes to keep it off the wall that time as he's just trying to keep the truck clean in case we get a late race yellow. I'm almost kind of hoping it stays green. I know that would mean that Edwards would get a max points day and close that points battle a little bit, but I am kind of scared with how badly worn out these left side tires are and how much time alone he's losing to Edwards over the last couple of laps. And Edwards has a lot more lap traffic around him compared to really no lap traffic around the Ford truck currently. And if we did get a restart and a 2-lap shootout, I have a feeling we may lose a couple more positions. That right front tire now in the yellow as well. Five laps to go at the line. At least Hamilton again was able to lead some laps in the middle of green flag pit stops. Better than nothing. And to salvage a third place finish out of a day where he really didn't even have a top 5 race truck and ran outside the top 10, oh, but maybe a dozen laps at the very most up until his first and only pit stop of the day for tires. And to top off on fuel, that is impressive to say the least. Two laps to go. Edwards just trying to get to the white flag now. Hamilton going to try to intimidate Carl Richards, see if maybe he wipes out. He got Richards a little bit loose. Oh, Richards definitely got loose. Hamilton will drive to the inside of him. White flag is in the air, though it's a little bit too late. Richards did a great job hanging on to the race truck. He didn't even get into the wall. Opened the door up for Hamilton to pass him cleanly in turns 1 and 2, though. Hamilton never touched Richards either. That would have been a clean accident if it would have happened. Checkered flag is going to wave. Carl Edwards has won at the Charlotte Lowe's Motor Speedway. Win number 3 on the season and a max points day. What a dominating performance by Cousin Carl. A 2.4 second victory over Brandon Witt hour 20 minutes total time on tonight's race with the 3 cautions that we ended up having all in the first half of the race. Edwards led 121 of the 136 laps tonight. All but 15 laps were led by the pole sitter. I mean, obviously, he deserved to win this one. Brandon Witt finishes second with 6 laps led. 9 laps led for Bobby Hamilton, who finished third. Those were the only 3 drivers to lead a lap today. 3 lead changes. Total of the 3 caution laps took for 3 cautions took for 9 caution laps. Bill Lester finishes 4th. Matt Crafton, after flipping, is going to round out the top 5. What a comeback for Crafton. Ryan Carter finishes 6th. Aaron McGee 7th. Jack Sprague 8th. Casey Cook 9th. And Jason Powell rounds out the top 10. Crafton was up on the left side of his racetrack after an awkward and bad hit into the outside wall, bringing out the 3rd yellow. Then slid down the racetrack, getting drilled in the roof of his racetrack by Wesley Schmidt, and still finishes 5th. How he did in DNF is one thing. How he finished top 5 is another. You want to talk about Bobby Hamilton having a comeback performance. How about Matt Crafton with that comeback performance there? My goodness. I don't even know where Wesley Schmidt finished. He finished 25th. He obviously had the worst end of that. He qualified 3rd, so all the speed got knocked out of that 117 truck. But for some reason, Crafton was able to maintain his speed, even though I thought he would have had the worst end of it. Only 23 trucks finished on the lead lap. And we had a few DNFs. Benny Allen, we saw him blow an engine. We also saw Chad Chaffin blow an engine not long after the last caution. Kevin Quinn blew an engine, and Travis Quaffle blew an engine. That is now the 3rd DNF for Quaffle this season. And he came into this race 4th in points. He may lose a few spots in the point standings, and any hope he had at a championship is out the window now. He would have needed the top 3 to all DNF at one point. Now he needs them to DNF twice just to get back in the championship hunt. And with only 6 races to go, I just don't see that happening. I mean, it's still not impossible, but now he's also going to have to gain those spots back that he lost tonight as well. Tomorrow night's live stream on NASCAR Chase for the Cup 2005 will take place at the Bristol Motor Speedway under the lights for the O'Reilly 200. That'll be the first race again of our doubleheader tomorrow. Immediately following the finish of that live stream will be a premiere of NASCAR 21 Edition Career Mode at Las Vegas. Edwards is going to gain in the point standings. He gains 20 points on Bobby Hamilton with a max points day. Good thing Hamilton was able to get laps led, 9 to be exact, under the green flag pit stop conditions, because that saved him 5 points. Plus a great gamble, taking 2 tires instead of 4 to get the 3rd place finish. He likely could have finished outside the top 10 if he didn't take the 2-tire gamble. You would have expected that to be an extra 7 to 8 second pit stop. And I'd have to go back to see how far behind 4th place was. I'm actually going to go back and check. See what the interval was back to those guys behind us. Bill Lester finished 4th. He was about 5 seconds behind us. It looked like we probably would have finished about 8th place if we took 4 tires. 8th or 9th. So we did save some points there, and obviously at this stage of the season, finishing 3rd is a lot better than finishing 8th or 9th. And we led laps to get 5 bonus points where we wouldn't. So in all reality, I mean, that gained us about 30 to 40 points, which is huge. Brandon Witt still 239 back. Bill Lester's now up to 4th in points. Quaffle only loses 1 spot in the point standings, falls from 4th to 5th. And that is going to wrap things up here tonight. Like, share, and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. And I will see you guys tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time once again. Can't wait to see you guys in the doubleheader. I'll be in the chat during that premiere as well. Thanks, everybody, for watching. See you later.